Reddit fresh. Am I the idiot for going into my sister's house without permission? I, 32, female, have a younger sister, 19, female, that has a set of twins, 1, female. She got pregnant unexpectedly in high school, and my parents and I have been very supportive of her. My husband owns a townhome complex that he rents out, and we decided to let her live in one of them rent-free, since she's in college and we want her to focus on that. The only rule I had for her was to not allow her baby daddy, 23, male, move in. The guy is very much bad news and has a record, and every time he comes into my sister's life he sets her back, mentally and academically, and way more stuff. My husband drives past these homes every day, and he always sees my sister's baby daddy's car in the driveway. At first I thought he was just visiting or babysitting, but my husband left work at 11 p.m. one night, and he told me he saw the car still there. So my suspicion was he was staying there. I asked my sister first and she lied to me and said he's never there, which is a lie because his car is there daily. My sister went out of town and this was maybe wrong, but I just needed to see for myself. So I used the master key and went into the house, and it's pretty clear he's living there. Almost all of his stuff was there. And I was honestly furious because that was the only rule I gave her and we were losing money by helping her. I waited for her to come home and I confronted her about it, and of course it turned into a screaming match and she was mad I went into her home without permission. I told her she needs to start paying rent or I'll be evicting her. My mom is on her side and said it was unnecessary that I went into her home when she wasn't there, and that I would be an idiot if I started demanding rent or evicting her since I was once her age and dated horrible dudes too. So am I the idiot? Edit. No, she does not have a lease for the townhouse since she's not paying anything there. If she were to start paying rent, she would be put on lease. The only thing that she pays for is cable and electricity. Everything else we pay for. The townhouse is under the ownership of husband's company. Second edit. The argument that some of you guys are making is that she's a tenant, and I broke the rental agreement. I'm gonna repeat myself. She does not have a lease/rental agreement. Technically, the place is still my husband's. She hasn't paid any sort of rent towards the house. She never paid any security deposit. She is legally just a person that stays on our property. The most rights she would potentially have is squatter rights. Other than that, no. How do you guys think we have a spare key to get in? If she was a traditional renter, we wouldn't have access to a spare like that. Again, my sister has no binding to the property. It's in my husband's name. He is the sole owner of that property. Her ownership of the house is equivalent to someone staying at a hotel for free, not the idiot. People who say you are need professional help. Her sis is not paying rent, so her rights are limited. Your sister is living for free in a building someone else, aka your hubby, owns where he could make money from, but he wanted to support her studies. You did not confront her that he was visiting her, so it is not like you said he can't see his kids, but gave her a condition to live rent-free. Your house, your rules. If she wants to live with him, she can move to his house or your mom can pay her rent. Rules are rules. She broke them and has to face the consequences, not the idiot. I rented a house from someone years ago, not related, and they used their key to come in and check on the premises when I was not home. Everything was fine. Landlords are allowed to have reasonable access to inspect their property. That aside, you had one rule, and she broke it. You didn't say he couldn't visit. You said he could not live there. She should be able to respect that. Now, for the next story. Am I the idiot for saying that my sister made her own bed when she named her daughter like this? My sister, after years of trying to have children, got pregnant with my niece. When she told us the name, I explained in the best way that the name she chose was very common for the animal, even more simplified as she wanted. Normally, this is a nickname. An example with an American name. She wanted to call her daughter Bella, just Bella, and in my country, Bella would be extremely common for a pet. She said I was anticipating the worst and wouldn't change my mind. I gave up, but she was warned. Recently, my fiancé was asking for a dog, and I decided to adopt one. My fiancé always wanted to have a dog called Bella, tribute to her childhood dog, and I even commented about it being the same name as my niece, 2F, but she said that she always wanted to name one of her pets even before my sister got pregnant. Since she owns it, I didn't want to contest. We currently don't live together, but we constantly stay at each other's houses and Bella comes with her all the time. This weekend was my son's birthday, and there was a party at the house, so all my siblings, parents, in-laws, and my fiancée came, including Bella, both of them. No one in my family had met her yet, not even a week after we adopted, and we introduced her. My sister became quiet. My brothers made a joke with the same names. The mood softened after a while, but when I was alone with my sister, she started saying that I was petty in choosing the same name as my niece for my dog and caused her unnecessary discomfort since I could choose any other name. I explained by saying that it wasn't me who chose it, but my bride. Right after that, the reason for that name. She even said that we could have chosen another name out of respect for her and her niece. I ran out of patience and ended up saying in a harsh way she was already yelling at me and I hate being shouted in my ear, that if she didn't want to go through that kind of discomfort, she shouldn't put one of the most common names for a pet, and that there's going to be a dog by that name on every corner. She knew it, and she put it anyway, so she made her bed by naming her. She left early and we are not on good terms. My parents are begging to change the name. But it's not my dog and my fiancé won't budge, telling everyone that she always said that Bella will be the name of her first pet. Am I the idiot? Not the idiot. But I would think very hard about the woman you are about to marry. You told her the name she was about to pick for her dog was the name of your actual niece, and she, checks notes, goes with it anyway, thus guaranteeing at least 10 years of crappy family get-together and a ruined chance of having a close relationship with your niece. You're the idiot. And so if your partner, complete jerk move, it would be a different situation had your partner already had a dog with that name before you met, living with them. But to do it afterwards is a D***C** move. You owe your sister a massive apology and should talk to your partner. If your partner won't change the name, then I guess you know they will never take others' feelings into consideration, and you deserve each other. Now, for the next story. Am I the idiot for doing husband duties for my friend? ETA. I met this friend and her husband in college while they were dating, and I was in a long-term relationship. I was a groomsman in their wedding, and I am the godfather of both boys, and was asked to be before both were born. I, male 36, have a longtime friend, female 34, who I live about 4 blocks from. We have always been very close. Her husband passed away 3 years ago after a 9-month battle with brain cancer, during which she was his full-time caretaker. I was also very close with her husband, and since I lived close by, I would go over and help as much as I could, be it cooking, cleaning, taking the kids out to do things, yard work and maintenance around the house, especially as he declined and required round-the-clock care. After he passed, I have continued to help my friend and her kids, and I spend a lot of time with her kids, now 11 and 9 m. Last year I married my wife, who I started dating after my friend's husband had passed, so this isn't new. Since then, there have been consistent arguments about me performing husband duties for my friend. Some examples of the things she was upset about. My friend called because when she woke up a pipe had burst in the ceiling, and she couldn't find a plumber who could come out that day. I'm a contractor, so I was able to call a friend, and he went over ASAP, and then I headed over and helped her clean up the mess and helped her with talking to her insurance and hiring a remediation company. After that was done, I helped her demo and replace the drywall. Her car broke down, so I picked her kids up from school and went and played basketball with them while she got it to the shop and grabbed a rental. And then the boys wanted to have a pizza party, so we grabbed some pizzas and had dinner at the park. She was re-landscaping her backyard and putting in some raised planter beds, and I went over on my day off to help her. My wife is always welcome. She doesn't usually want to go and instead thinks I should let her figure it out because she's a big girl and she needs to stop acting like I'm her husband. She has even gone as far as suggesting that my friend wants to steal me away from my wife because she needs someone to take care of her. No idiots here. I have a friend who has done similar things for me since my husband died, and I know that he's trying to look out for me because he was my husband's best friend. I really appreciate his help, but I would draw the line at inviting him to stay for pizza or hang out with my kids in case his wife, who is a really cool person, thought it was too much. If your wife is starting to feel uncomfortable, then you need to dial it back a bit. Save your help for the big things like major DIY and keep up with your friends socially by inviting her over to your place to hang out with you and your wife together. You're the idiot. Big time. Reading through your comments here, You are essentially ignoring / misusing / arguing with everyone who says your wife might have a point with, but I am their godfather, and I knew them, my friend, first. You are looking for validation for being this knight in shining armor for your friend's family, and you aren't getting any. You may be their knight / friend / godfather, etc., but you certainly aren't a very considerate partner for your wife. Good luck with your marriage, OP. Now, for the next story. Am I the idiot for telling my sister that a comment she made is exactly why her marriage crashed and burned? My sister has been staying with my husband and I, men in our late 20s, for the last week and some change. She and her husband have initiated the divorce process, and she said she doesn't want to stay alone right now, which I completely understand. It would be very hard to go from living with a partner to a completely silent house. I opened our home to her before I found out why her marriage didn't work out. Now that the two of us have had multiple conversations about it, I'm a little uncomfortable. There was no infidelity, there was no big scandal. What she told me is that her husband wasn't having sex with her enough. The things she has been saying have floored me. She says without sex, the two of them were basically just like roommates. She said she had been pushing for him to get a hormone imbalance test done because while they were still having sex, it wasn't enough. She said he had begun resisting even normal touches from her because from his perspective, all she thought about was sex, which apparently isn't true. I'm not sure I believe that. I can elaborate in the comments, but overall it just left me feeling sad for her ex and the disrespect of saying sex is the only thing that separates a partner from a roommate. Not even a friend. I've done my best to be supportive, but I can't relate to the thought process at all. If my partner told me tomorrow that he wasn't up for sex for the next few weeks, months, or longer, I would just take care of myself and respect that. I love him, and I want him to be the person I do life with forever. This all came to a head last night. My husband and I were having a typical lazy Saturday night, catching up on some shows and chatting while we lounged on the couch. His legs were in my lap and I was kind of absent-mindedly massaging his feet and rubbing his ankles. This was an innocent gesture. My sister came in, saw me doing it, and made a joke along the lines of, "Ah, OP, I didn't know you were into feet," or "I didn't know you had a foot fetish." The exact wording escapes me. I couldn't help but feel put off at her sexualizing the gesture. Intimacy can be sexual, but it doesn't have to be. I told her so, and then said, referring to her divorce, "You sexualizing every interaction is why you're in the situation you are now." She called me a prick and left the room. I already know it was a little harsh, but I'm unsure if it was tough love or too much. Am I the idiot? Not the idiot. That is a weird thing to say to your sibling, and thinking every time you touch your partner it has to be for sexual reasons is screwed up. You probably could have been nicer, but that's a weird thing to say. Everyone sucks here. It's weird that your sister made a comment that sexualized her brother. That's freaking strange. However, why did you have to bring her failed marriage into it? She confided in you, you didn't agree, and you threw it in her face. There are so many ways you could have expressed your concerns about her reasons for her divorce without attacking her. Now, for the next story. Am I the idiot for saying, "Wow, I don't like you" to my friend's boyfriend? This happened some weeks ago, and I probably am the idiot, so I came here to check. I was at the mall with my best friend when another friend, let's call her S, noticed us and invited us over. S was with her BF at the time and wanted to introduce us, and since we enjoy meeting new people, we obliged. It did not take long before we realized that the BF was, let's say it's strange. He refused to talk to us, giving one-word responses to everything, and when the topic went towards things we enjoyed or liked, he'd just go, "I don't care." It was disheartening to say the least. I try my best generally to include everyone in a conversation, but he honest to God refused to participate even when the topic was his interests or relationship with S. The thing that really broke the camel's back, for me at least, was that he made S talk for him, and not in a, "I don't know what to say, so please take the reins" way, but in an almost "they are beneath me" way. S tried her best to accommodate, but there were things she couldn't respond to, like what her favorite video game was and stuff like that. After around 30 minutes of trying to either ignore my BF and discuss other things or let him speak only for him to refuse to, I just didn't care anymore and went, "Wow, I don't like you." And he, once again, just ignored everyone, even S when she tried to defend him by saying, "I wish I was joking. I still don't understand the correlation." that he's a feminist. The whole thing ended up just being awkward, and afterwards S didn't talk to me as much. It all came to a head at my best friend's birthday when S tried to confront me and said I was a witch, was being mean to her BF. I was most likely rude, I agree, though I genuinely was out of things to say at that point. So, am I the idiot? Edit. I spoke to S and friend, and from what we know, me, S, and my friend, the BF, isn't autistic. Me, S, and friend are diagnosed with ASD on the other hand. But if BF is, he isn't diagnosed and doesn't know it. Also, we are all adults, since people asked. Not the idiot. Sometimes you just have to call a spade an effing spade. S is just blind because she likes him, God knows why. You are more objective. You tried to be nice and engaged him into conversation, but he acted like a giant D-bag. Might as well say the truth than being forced to spend time with him again. Not the idiot. He is the idiot if anyone is. Sure, perhaps you didn't need to go at him like that. I myself would have said something more like, "You're not much of a talker, are you? I'm just trying to get to know you and make you feel welcomed. I won't be offended, but please do let me know if I am asking more questions than you want to answer." Or something similar to that. He sounds like an absolute weirdo, though. Feminist? Maybe. Probably more like he just wants to tell women what he thinks they want to hear. The way I have always seen it is that for me to be with you, my friends need to like you, and you need to respect them. And when I say my friends need to like you, they would need actual valid reasons to not like you. They can kick rocks if they have dumb reasons, but if they are legitimate and valid reasons, it would be a no for me.